This machine has a power feed on X, and we tested that too. It is a pretty amazing thing. Now, I was very, very leery of this tone or ton-E A-class X-axis power feed. It's not a servo. I'm used to servos, just like every old mill hand is. I like my servo power feeds. Well, I did a bunch of research, and I can find nothing negative online about these A-class power feeds. And after having run it back and forth, I don't know, 2 or 3 dozen times, I have to say it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, and it goes nice and slow, as I'll show you. This machine also has box ways on the Y-axis. I'll show you those too. That also was a consideration in purchasing this machine. It's not a dovetail in the Y-axis. It's actually got box ways. And it's got a one-shot oiler. And then there's 2 inspection panels. We're going to pop those off and give you a look inside. And hopefully this review will help you when you go to decide to buy a mill. I hope so. Maybe it'll cut down some of your homework. This is the X-axis power feed on the G0796 milling machine. It is, as we can see during this zoom in here, it's made by Ton-E or Tone. It depends on what you read as to whether that's Ton-E or Tone. And it has a speed adjustment here, and then this jog switch, and below that is the direction control left and right and the rapid button, and then underneath that is a circuit breaker. Okay, now this jog switch button is kind of funky. What it does is, if it's you can turn on the power feed, and it will jog whenever you hit this button. Notice I've locked out the slip feed on the ball handle. I don't care for that. I don't like having to push in my ball feed or my ball handle to get the dang thing to move, so I don't use it. Now, normally this will be left in the feed position, and you just start or stop with this control. Now, if we have a lower speed set and we press rapid, it'll automatically go up to the highest speed while you have that rapid button depressed, and then return to your normal low speed. I don't know anybody that would use the jog function on this thing. Now, let's see. Let me readjust my camera here. And you can see that on these ball handles, there's a small set screw here. You can simply push the ball handle in and lock that set screw down, so you don't have to push the ball handle in each time. The object of this is that they don't want this to spin automatically in case you're near it. It can whack you on, it can grab your pocket and pull your pocket off or pull you into the machine. They don't want that. Well, I've been around these a long time, and I'm unlikely to do that. Okay, you can also move the table manually with the ball handle, and I expect this to get a lot smoother as it gets used. I worked the south bend that they had up there on the showroom floor, and oh man, that was like glass. This isn't, but it also costs 1/3 the price. Okay, so that takes care of the X-axis power feed. We have, just like on all Bridgeport type clone machines, we have a Y-axis that moves the saddle in and out. And this is actually smoother than that X for some reason, despite the fact that back here on the back of the machine, let's see if I can get us in there, right here, this way is about as rough as a cob. Okay, this was just in this one spot though, and it doesn't seem to make any difference when I go all the way back to the column. It's still smooth, but the grinding was atrocious in this area. These are groundways, they're not scraped and flaked. So, I would say that considering the price, it's a remarkably smooth machine, and that's easy enough, I think. Okay, each of these axes is equipped with a dial that has a lock ring. You can loosen the lock ring and set the dial to whatever number you need, and then move to whatever measurement you need. That's in addition to the digital readout. Okay, the knee feed is just like every conventional Bridgeport type machine. This handle locks into a little dog clutch here, and then clockwise rotation is up, counterclockwise rotation is down. And it's a little rougher than normal, but I expect, like I said, once these axes get used a bit, I expect them to smooth out some. That was what I would expect. Those people familiar with Bridgeports will feel right at home with the G0796. This is your quill feed, and this handle can be repositioned to put the angle of the lever at what you need it to be. The power feed works very much like a Bridgeport. This lever, pull it out and turn it 180 and release the knob, disengages, and sometimes you have to turn the spindle, and engages the quill feed, the quill power feed. Over on this side there's a feed rate control. Now this one is particularly difficult to move right now. I'm hoping it'll get easier to move. What I found, I took this plate off, is that sometimes you have to turn the spindle a little bit back and forth, and then it kind of slips in. The top position here is 0.03 of an inch per revolution feed rate. This middle position is 1 thou and 5/10 per revolution feed rate, and down here at the bottom is the fast feed rate of 6 thou per revolution. Now I took this off and redistributed some of the grease in there. That made it considerably better. You'll probably want to do the same thing on your own machine. But nonetheless, turn the spindle back and forth. Works better in high gear because you can change the spindle that way. Now, this is exactly like on a Bridgeport. This turns on and controls the direction of the down feed. If you push it all the way in, it'll feed up into the spindle. So you lower the spindle, engage the power feed, and then when I turn on the spindle will feed up, as you can see. When it gets to the top, it'll kick out, just like that. If I pull this control out, you'll notice that the disc back here starts to spin in a clockwise direction. And now, when I engage the power feed, the quill feeds down. This is used for boring. You don't want to use this for drilling. It's not heavy duty enough a system. And when you've reached the depth that you want to go at, you can whack this, or you can set this depth with this control here, and it'll kick out when it's done, just like on a Bridgeport. In addition to this, the machine comes with a plastic handle here for fine down feed, but I don't see anybody ever use that in the shops. I've never used one. I don't know why you really would. Okay. Unless you're controlling Z very precisely with an indicator or something. On the right hand side here is a bar. This is an indicator holder, and I've seen it used for all sorts of things on Bridgeports. Okay.